everyone, today we are making a very popular dish, and that is known as Slumgullion, also aka known as American Goulash. Now this was a very popular dish during the Great Depression, and the reason I want to film myself making this meal for you all today is because I want it to be budget friendly and I want it to be something you can work with and enjoy at home. So I'm looking forward to trying this meal, and let's get into the ingredients. Now to start this recipe, I have a pot preheating over medium-high heat. There is a little bit of oil in the very bottom. That is vegetable oil. Then we need half a cup of onions. We want to saute these until they are translucent. And then we also need to add in this half a cup of green peppers, diced. And we want to saute these with the onions. If you need a little bit more vegetable oil, go ahead and add that in. And I'm gonna add in a little bit more vegetable oil to help that saute. And we need 3 teaspoons of minced garlic going in. Let's bring down that heat just a little bit. And then we need 11 ounces of sweet corn. Make sure it's drained. Gonna turn that heat up a little bit. Then we need 15 ounces of tomato sauce going in. Then we need 15 ounces of diced tomatoes. It doesn't need to be drained. And give your tomatoes a stir. Then we need 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And this is 2 tablespoons. Perfect. Go ahead and give that a stir. Make sure it gets fully in there, all mixed together. Turn that heat up a little bit more. Next up, I want to pour 1 pound of fried beef in, ground beef, and it can be any kind of ground beef you want, just as long as it's ground beef. Then go ahead and give it a mix in. One note I want to make about the ground beef is you can choose to fry it beforehand. That is what I did in this case. I went ahead and fried the ground beef beforehand, but you can decide to cook the ground beef with the dish itself in the pot. And then we need 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. This is optional. If you want to give it a little bit more flavor, go ahead and add the Worcestershire sauce, but you really don't need it. I just like the flavor that the Worcestershire sauce adds. Then we need 8 ounces of beef broth. And next up, go ahead and add your elbow macaroni in. Make sure it is 2 cups. And give this a mix. Now you're gonna let the elbow macaroni cook in this and let this simmer for 11 minutes covered. Placing the cover on and setting my timer now for 11 minutes. Okay, our 11 minutes is up. I gave it a couple of stirs in between the cooking time. Let's go ahead and turn our heat off, and let's add our salt and pepper. I also decided as this dish cooked that it did need a little bit more liquid, so I decided to add another cup of beef broth, totaling a total of 2 cups. And I also thought that this dish needed some more salt to it, even though the beef broth had salt, so I went ahead and added about a teaspoon of salt. Okay, I have my bowl here. I'm gonna do 3 ladlefuls of this Slumgullion. 1, 2, 3. Okay folks, I have the finished product right here. This is our finished product of Slumgullion, aka American Goulash. So it looks pretty good. I personally would eat it. I'm curious in the comments below if you guys would eat it. And one extra thing I want to add. Now, there is the option to add a little bit of parsley at the end, so I did go ahead and mince up some parsley, and I'm gonna sprinkle it over our Slumgullion, just to give a little bit of greenery to our dish. I think that looks pretty good. What about you? And like I said, you don't really need to do the parsley. I just chose to do it because I wanted to add a little touch, a little hint of green. And now without further ado, let's give this dish a taste. Let me let it cool down a little bit. And now that we have let this dish cool down, let's go ahead and give it a taste. Still hot. And now let's go ahead and give this dish a taste. Let's make sure we get a little bit of everything in here, including the parsley. That is delicious. It is hearty, it will satisfy you, and it will definitely keep your tummy nice and full. I really like everything in here. The elbow macaroni, the beef broth, the ground beef, the tomato paste, the diced tomatoes, the tomato sauce, the salt, the pepper, The corn is a nice touch as well. Also, the Worcestershire sauce really hits in this dish as well. But the grand finale of this dish, I think that really brings this over the top, is the parsley. It is the perfect note of green, and it really leaves you satisfied and wanting more of this dish. If I had to do anything differently, I would probably add a little bit more salt. I do think, despite beef broth having salt in it, that this could benefit from having salt in it. All right, folks, that does it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are interested in cooking this meal, or if you want to cook it in the future, let me know in the comments below. Or if you think that there is anything I could have done differently, or something that I did right, please let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading all of your comments. Take care, bye.